Naruto, an anime we love, but let's be honest, it has some plot holes big enough to create a black hole. Today, we're gonna unmask the 10 biggest ones, the ones that make you scratch your head and think, seriously, Kishimoto? Get ready to question everything you thought you knew about the ninja world. Let's go.
Obito never goes blind. The Sharingan with an extended warranty. If there's one thing we learned in Naruto, it's that using the Mangekyo Sharingan too much makes you blind. Itachi, Sasuke, Madara, they all suffered from it. But what about Obito? Obito is different. This guy uses his Sharingan a lot, constantly fighting, using Kamui, which is one of the most overpowered jutsus in the anime, and he never seems to have any visual strain. He only has one Sharingan, but somehow he manages to surpass all other Uchiha clan members in terms of ocular endurance. Where's the logic? Where's the Sharingan's curse? It's as if his Sharingan came with a lifetime extended warranty, no fine print. This is a bothersome plot hole because it breaks an established and important rule of the Uchiha universe. Either Obito's a mutant or Kishimoto forgot this detail, and the question remains, why only him?
Naruto is treated like nobody, Konoha's worst-kept secret. In Minato and Kushina's final moments, they make Hiruzen promise to take care of their newborn son. Even if Naruto's ancestry wasn't kept a secret, Hiruzen knew that Naruto was the son of one of the village's highest-ranking shinobi. As Konoha's Jinchuriki, Naruto was an important part of the village's defense. Despite all these things, Naruto is treated like nobody in the village. Hiruzen seems to do the bare minimum when it comes to ensuring Naruto's basic needs are met. He lives in poverty, is isolated, and most villagers hate him because of the Nine-Tails Fox. This is a plot hole that hurts because it goes against the promise made and the logic of protecting such a vital asset for the village. How could the third Hokage, who was so wise and kind, let Naruto go through all that? It's a failure in supervision that borders on the absurd. This directly affects the main character's development and the credibility of Konoha's leaders. Nobody discovers who Naruto is, the forgotten Hokage's son. After Naruto meets his parents, we discover he has his mother's face and his father's hair. People who knew Minato and Kushina could easily guess his true lineage, right? After all, he's the only one with yellow hair in the entire village. And besides, everyone knew that the Yondaime Hokage, who was known by all nations, and his wife were expecting a baby. Konoha is full of ninjas, some of them gathering information from other villages. But no one seems to notice that Naruto has the face or the surname of the fourth Hokage and the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, the surname. No one questions how Naruto appeared moments after Minato and Kushina seemingly died. The truth about Naruto should have spread throughout the entire village. This is a plot hole whose intention we understand, to keep Naruto as an outcast so we root for him more. But the lack of perception from Konoha's ninjas is unbelievable. It's as if everyone was under a collective genjutsu that prevented them from connecting the dots, and no one discovered who the boy really was. Being treated like that by civilians is understandable, but by ninjas? Madara's Mangekyo Sharingan, the ocular power that never arrived. Madara, the god of shinobi, awakened the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Every Uchiha who reaches this level gains a unique and super powerful jutsu. But what about Madara? Where's his exclusive jutsu? Limbo? No, that's from the 10 Tails Jinchuriki. It's Naruto's biggest mystery. The most powerful Uchiha of all time doesn't have an ocular power of his own? This breaks the logic of the Sharingan and leaves us scratching our heads.
Madara's resurrection plan, the biggest gamble in the ninja universe. Madara's plan to be revived? Folks, this is a horror show. He, one of the most powerful ninjas in history, depended on the goodwill of 2 random children he barely knew. He gives the Rinnegan to Nagato, a child, in the middle of a war, and expects Obito, another child to manipulate Nagato into sacrificing himself to bring him back. The chance of this plan working was like 2%. If Nagato died of hunger, or Obito wasn't so manipulable, or if the plan didn't initially go wrong, yes, it did, Madara would be there, rotting. It's a plan so absurd, it's almost brilliant in its flawedness.
Killer Bee and Naruto in the war, the main targets on the front line. Following the vibe of the Fourth Great Ninja War, this one is a 20/10 plot hole. The war was created to protect Naruto and Killer Bee from the Akatsuki, right? They were the main targets. But what happens? They are thrown onto the front line. The Raikage and Tsunade, after much drama, let the two most important Jinchurikis in the ninja world run alone across the battlefield. If Obito and Kabuto weren't two donkeys, they would have sent all the Edo Tensei after them and the war would have ended in 15 minutes. They run around alone, switching battlefields, and no one thinks to focus on them? It's a plot hole that defies all the logic of a war and the protection of the most valuable assets, even though they are practically half the power of the Shinobi Alliance. Unbelievable.
Itachi doesn't kill Danzo, the perfect plan with a fatal flaw. Itachi, the strategic genius who planned everything down to the smallest detail to protect Konoha and Sasuke, left Danzo alive. The guy who killed Shisui, who was an internal threat and a danger to Sasuke, was simply not eliminated by Itachi? It's as if he had a perfect plan but forgot a crucial step. He is portrayed as a ninja who thinks of everything, but he left such a dangerous enemy as Danzo alive for Sasuke to deal with later. And worse, Danzo only wanted Konoha's power, not to protect the village that Itachi sacrificed himself to save. We expected more from such a complex character as Itachi.
Obito, the Immortal, or the guy who defies death. If Obito's Sharingan has an extended warranty, his life has death insurance. Seriously, how many times did we hear in the series that Obito should have died but didn't? The first time was when he was crushed by those rocks. His comrades thought he had turned into pate, but voila, he survived. And that was just the first of a series of near-death experiences Obito faced. He manages to survive a Biju extraction, a fight against Minato. It's as if death simply didn't want him. We can conclude that Obito is always stronger than death, or that this is a plot hole in the story. I vote for the second option. It's a plot device to keep the character alive, of course, but it defies the internal logic of the Naruto universe.
Jiraiya's death and Edo Tensei, the body that disappeared at sea. This one is a plot hole whose intention we understand, but it breaks the logic of the jutsu itself. The creator wanted Jiraiya's death to be very important, so the excuse was that Kabuto didn't have access to his body because it fell into the ocean. However, Kabuto managed to revive people who died in much more adverse conditions and whose bodies were in much more difficult places to access. Why would Jiraiya be the exception? It's as if Kishimoto created a rule for Edo Tensei, but then broke that rule to keep Jiraiya's death impactful. We love Jiraiya, but the excuse didn't quite stick. The power of the Otsutsuki, the inconsistency of reward. At the end of Naruto Shippuden, Naruto and Sasuke defeat Kaguya, a super powerful Otsutsuki. They face the biggest challenge of their careers, and despite the odds, they managed to defeat her. As a reward, they should have received her power, right? But nothing of the sort happened. Now, in Boruto, when Boruto defeats Momoshiki, another Otsutsuki, he receives his power. Momoshiki says that Otsutsuki always pass their power to those who defeat them. This is a glaring inconsistency. If the rule is that Otsutsuki pass their power to those who defeat them, why didn't Naruto and Sasuke gain anything from Kaguya? Was Kaguya the exception to the rule? Or did Kishimoto only think of this later to give Boruto a power-up? This is a plot hole that directly affects the logic of the universe and the reward of our heroes. This just won't do. So, did you enjoy the 10 biggest Naruto plot holes we picked out for you?
We know the anime is incredible, but it's always good to have a laugh at these inconsistencies, right? What plot holes were missing here? Leave your comment if you want a part 2, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell to not miss anything. Thanks everyone, and see you next time.